Barbie! I told you to wait in the dream house.
Boys, avenge me! Avenge me! Avengers!
Bazinga.
Scruffy-looking nerf herders.
Ethan Hunt contacted you?
I am good, Rooster. I'm very good.
So you are Yoi, the trainer who trains.
Gonzo the Great will ride this baby again.
Hello and welcome to episode 49 of the Real Serious Podcast. Halfway through December, and today it is Jack and myself. Charles will be joining us soon if he gets his computer figured out. This guy and internet, they're not good friends. But two big reviews: Kraven the Hunter, Lord of the Rings, War for the Rohirrim. Jack, how are you? It's been a week. We missed you, man.
I know. I missed you guys too. It was a lonely week. I feel like I had so many thoughts and so many things I wanted to share, but I was like, I feel like it's too good not to keep it on the pod.
Well, you also had the greatest reason to skip the pod ever.
I know. I actually was unable to see Interstellar.
No.
Yes.
What? What happened?
So the machine broke down like 5 hours before the showing.
No.
And I wasn't able to do it.
What did they do?
So now I'm going to have they're going to redo it in late January. So they're going to stop playing it from, I guess, like, because they're doing the 7 showing. I don't know if I told you about that. So they're re-releasing 70mm IMAX, which
yes,
if I was in Bloomington, I probably would go visit and go watch it. But being in Louisville, I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to make the trip. But I believe it honestly worked out great because it's the Sunday I come back right before the start of the second semester. Okay. Obviously, I was like absolutely devastated that it didn't work out. But to be honest, I'm incredibly happy that I still get to see it because literally seeing everyone on their feed getting to see this movie in 70mm IMAX is absolutely just like devastating. It's just like a punch to the gut. So, yeah, unfortunately, it was a very devastating Sunday afternoon.
I'm so sorry to hear that, but at least you get to see it still.
I know. I'm like still optimistic because I was like, they could have just been like, it's canceled. I'm so sorry. We can't find another way to make it happen. But the fact that there's a makeup later, and the good thing is, I think I still get my same seat, and then I got a refund, and I get to save like $10 or something because I don't have like a processing. I don't know. Either way. The customer feedback for the indie theater was phenomenal. They were very helpful. But yeah, just a tad bit disappointing, but still very excited. That's not the only thing I'm mourning about. I'm seriously mourning the death of the Sonyverse, which
we'll talk about that later.
I dressed for.
We'll really talk. Oh, you did. We actually got a letter in our PO box about that, so we'll just cover that all later. When we get to talk about Kraven, but man, I was thinking of going to see Interstellar again, but then my local AMC with IMAX doesn't have film; it's all digital IMAX. So I was like, all right, I couldn't justify driving 2.5 hours to go see it, even though I really wanted to. I was like, I can't do it. So I don't know. I think if Oppenheimer ever came back, I would probably do that for Oppenheimer.
Yes,
because I just saw Interstellar, like when I just saw it like a couple months ago. So I feel like it's really fresh.
Yeah.
So I think it was worth it.
The problem, all the edits and everything are showing up, and I'm just like, I've seen this movie like 3 times. So I'm just like, I
sent to you guys you can go visit Miller's plant because it's real, like it's a real place.
Yeah.
I want to do that so bad.
I want to say it's Iceland, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to go there so bad.
It's really cool.
So
my dad happened to visit there a couple of years ago, and he was like, "Yeah, that's where they filmed Interstellar." And I'm just like, it's like the easiest way to make me super jealous.
Yeah. So, okay, but real quick. Last week, we talked about the Christmas movies.
Yes.
Family Man was your choice, which Charlie and I both didn't mind. We both didn't not like it. But our main question for you was, you said in your letterboxd, what an absolute delight. A simple story that love is the ultimate satisfier. Nicolas Cage rocks. I absolutely adore this movie and everything it represents. we could not disagree more with you. We thought this was a bummer of a movie, and it represents the opposite of what it should. Care to defend yourself here?
Of course. So I was very interested to hear that you guys kind of were bummed out by this movie, which I guess looking at it maybe from that perspective, that you see this stuff with I guess the responsibilities of becoming a parent and stuff, and obviously it's a big burden on his life and it's a change of lifestyle. But personally, the way I view this whole transformation is obviously he's not a dad, and I think it was like very apparent. And I thought that you mentioned very well the character or the relationship with his daughter, how she thinks that he's an alien because she can obviously tell that he's not her dad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, I think it's the progression, and you see it in his character, even when he does and he is interested in the affair. I think that's a point in the story where like he's still not fully hooked into like this family lifestyle. And I know he's like back and forth for several parts throughout the movie where he's like, oh, my wife is beautiful, you know, she's great, but then he's still not fully committed to her, you know. But I think that's just still pointing towards the lifestyle that he used to live, you know, that he would have women over, you know, multiple different women over at different times, like, you know, like how he had the lady over for Christmas. But for me, I think it's the small moments where he kind of like, when he finally realizes like, oh, this is the life that I am in and I'm going to live it to the best of my ability. And I think that he embraces the family and he loves his life for like the small moments that they can have together. I think that's the part of the movie that necessarily I pull out of this. And I totally get it. Like, I think maybe like I get it, like totally like starting, like for you and Chuck, I feel like starting work, maybe you guys have like a different perspective on this just because I necessarily like maybe like a year later in my life, I might think a little bit differently, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe I haven't thought a lot deeper on some of those subjects. And I totally get it. Like the burden of adulting is like very apparent in the responsibilities that he gets like in this movie. But I think it's like, I don't know, like no relationship is perfect. No one's life is perfect. And I think that it shows that really well in this movie. I don't think this movie is perfect by any means. I think I like it that it's imperfect and it shows the imperfections of life, but then it also points towards that like he still wants to go back and choose that life over the one that he's currently living.
Correct. I just think my issue with it, and I think Charlie kind of was in the same vein, was that it never made one seem better than the other. Like, both didn't seem all that great for him. We're like, yeah, and the one he was rich and like that was great, but he didn't have a lot of negatives there. Like, yeah, he didn't have a family, but it was fine for him. Like, he never felt the emptiness. And then when he went to the family life, it's like, all right, yeah, maybe he didn't have the money, but like he was also fine there. So like he never was negative in either one, but also never really positive in either one. And so I just think that was what it was missing. But I think that's also a deliberate choice, probably from the people who made the movie, was like, you can find fulfillment in both lives. It's just which one is best for you.
Yeah,
which
well,
I think
even
is
like
a good message, but like I think for a Christmas movie was a little weird.
And even no, I agree. It's like a Christmas. This isn't a Christmas movie you're gonna like show your kids when they're 4 years old.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Like this is. I don't know. I like, and also I like Nick Cage in this. I think that specifically, I think this is an underrated Nick Cage performance, and I get it. Like Nick Cage acts very
here.
Similar in a lot of his movies.
Good here.
But personally, I think he really excels in some of the, like you said earlier, like some of the interactions with the daughter. I think that early on, like I love that conversation. He's like, yeah, like I'm not your dad, like I'm so sorry. And then towards the end, like obviously them playing in the snow, I just really like the exchange that they have. But I think at the end, I agree. I think the ending is a tad bit rushed. I wish we had a little bit more time to let it soak in. Kind of like what happened with his past life, or not his past life, but the life that the vision, I guess. I couldn't remember what Don Cheadle said it was.
Yeah, it was a glimpse or something.
Glimpse, yes, or something like that. But he comes back, and I think he like, my interpretation of it is he literally just like leaves his job behind. Like he has responsibilities in his job, and he says like, you know what, like the life that I had with people who loved me and wanted to spend time with me and wanted to like invest in me and like care for me, and the life that I had in the glimpse is so much better than the life I have now because I'm not alone or I'm not, you know, I have people to love. I think he chooses that, and that's what causes him to like end the movie. But I agree. I think the direction in the end of the movie is a little bit rushed, and I don't think you really get to soak in that feeling as best as you probably could. But
because it basically is, what's like it's not, is it a Christmas Story, right? No, not a Christmas
It's
Story.
Wonderful Life.
Thank you. It's a Wonderful Life. But at the end of It's a Wonderful Life, he goes back to that life and he like has a new appreciation for it. Where like he loses both lives in this. Yeah. So like that's where I don't know. Maybe I did want just like the sappy ending for Christmas, but yeah, it's okay. I still appreciate it. I actually appreciate it more as like an idea than like a movie, which I'm glad we watched it. That's what Charlie.
No, I know. So I really appreciate you guys for watching that. I know it wasn't like that's just one that I kind of like. I personally liked, but I really enjoyed watching your guys' as well. So I think that I wish you know, like going forward in the future, I'd love to find more ways to just kind of like find some of those like movies that we personally like, and then kind of just like come back and I guess like review them all together. I feel like that was fun.
100%. All right, let's do what we've been watching this week. I think yours is probably longer than mine, so I can go first. Started off with 2010's The Town. Never seen it. Give it 4.5 stars. Great heist movie. Great bank robbery movie. Honestly, maybe the best Ben Affleck movie. And I texted you guys about like how underappreciated Jeremy Renner is as an actor. I stand by that. I think Jeremy Renner is in some absolute bangers, and he's always good in them. And so I think that he'll be one of those guys we look back on and we're like, wow, should have got a little more respect. Also, people should have used his app more. The Jeremy Renner app was a wonderful piece of history that is gone forever now. Next, I watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think that I've made a grave mistake here with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think I should have not watched it unless I was at like a midnight screening with like a crowd who was playing along, because I did not like this movie at all. I gave it 2 stars. I found it kind of hard to get through. Tim Curry does maybe give one of the best performances like ever in this. Like he's incredible here. I just think everything around him is just so like it's just not for me. Sure. I do kind of want to watch it again, like with a crowd like that, because it seems like that's just such an amplification of the experience. But yeah, not for me. Then I watched Carry On, which, spoilers, is the best of the 3 movies that were released this weekend for me. Gave that 3 stars. Not great, but joins that grouping of great Netflix movies where it's like in the background, you can leave for 2 minutes and come back and you're still understanding the story completely. So big fan there. And then finish the week off with Kraven the Hunter and Lord of the Rings, War for Rohirrim, which we'll jump into later. And then obviously Creature Commandos, which was very good this week. So that's all I got.
That's well, I know the Rocky Horror Show, that's got like a cult following. So
yeah, they do like all that's I even got a comment on my Letterboxd review that was like, clearly you didn't watch this at a midnight screening. And I was like, yeah, I didn't. I probably should have. So big mistake on my part. I
could only imagine the TikTok response to that review.
I didn't even make one because I was like, it'd be a nightmare. Like, you just don't get it. And I'd be like, I guess I don't.
2 likes, 5,000 comments.
Yeah, you're wrong. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
well, all right. Do you want me to share like what I watched the week prior as well? Is that okay?
Yeah, if you want to just speed run it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So White Christmas, watched that. I guess already gave my comments on that in the last one. Then I finally got to watch Substance. Honestly, really enjoyed that. Like you said, the message is a brick to the face, but the body horror, I don't think I'd ever seen a movie with like actual body horror that was
and it was
a little freaky for me. It was crazy. Like you wanted to keep watching, but you wanted to look away. Really weird. Then watched The Family Man. Or no, I didn't watch Family Man yet. I wanted to dig into Robert Eggers' filmography before I watched Nosferatu, because really anticipating that. So I watched The Lighthouse, which I didn't love as much as most people do. Really appreciated it though. I think the more I watch it, I think that's like, I didn't realize it was kind of funny too. Like I found myself kind of chuckling throughout, but I just like
there's some good little bits of comedy in there.
Yeah. Then watched The Family Man, and then I watched The Witch, which I enjoyed. Robert Eggers has very like distinct style to his movies, and I think I like the style. I think the direction and the ending of this movie kind of turned me off personally, but I really liked it. And then I watched the Shane Gillis Beautiful Dog special, which
you had to clear your mind after The Witch.
Yeah,
you're like, hang on, I need a break.
It was funny. It's always funny. I mean, I've watched it. This is my second time watching it, but it's a blast. Then watched Muppet Christmas. And then I watched one of the most underappreciated movies of probably just this year. I mean, I like it. It's fun. It's silly. It's goofy. Beetlejuice. I'm such a sick man. I will drink the juice.
The juice is most certainly loose.
And I moved that up to a 3.5 star.
No.
It's just it's the vibes for me. You know, it's just a movie I vibe with. I wouldn't say that the plot or the pacing is perfect, because I think it does drag a bit at times, but it also goes really fast, so it's all over the place. Then I watched Emilia Perez, which has been getting a ton of been in the news a lot recently, especially
a lot of awards love there.
Yes, a lot of awards love, specifically getting a nomination for Best Picture, and also several members of the cast receiving acting nominations, or basically receiving a nomination for almost everything you possibly can. Yeah, definitely have a lot of thoughts on that. And then I watched A Different Man, one I've been trying to watch for a long time, Sebastian Stan. Really liked this. It was good. It was very, very good. And after that, I wanted to continue the Sebastian Stan train, so I watched The Apprentice. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy that Sebastian Stan got a nomination for both of these roles. I think he's on a heater right now, and I want to see him in as much as possible.
Kind of crazy. His choices, I think Chris Evans, like post Endgame.
Yeah. It's like one of the top reviews for Letterboxd is like, if you were to tell me that Sebastian Stan would be the most promising career post Endgame for anyone in the Marvel cast, it's a surprise for sure, but I'm happy it happened.
Yeah.
The Apprentice, he's great. Jeremy Strong is awesome. This movie, it's kind of just a deep dive, and obviously I watched some interviews and stuff on the cast and how they made the movie. So I enjoyed it. Gave about 3.5 stars. Then I watched The Northman. Sorry, this is like really long. The Northman, really like The Northman. I think this is my favorite.
Okay, so you and I feel opposite about The Northman and Lighthouse. We're like, I'm more in the Lighthouse, and I think The Northman is like a bit overblown. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but I like The Northman. That's my favorite. 4 stars. I mean, not by like a massive margin, but I liked it, and I like that even with the bigger scale for the movie, he still finds a way to be pretty detailed in how he goes about like creating these worlds or creating these characters. Then I watched Brothers. Like, I'm trying so hard to get 100% for the Robert Eggers filmography. This was one of his short films, and I think it's so interesting watching some of these short films for some of these directors. Like, I've watched 1 or 2 of these short films for Christopher Nolan, and it's like you can just tell that the style of the director is just like there. You know what I'm saying? It's like in your face. Like, if you were to throw this short film at me and not tell me the director, I could almost, I mean, it feels like Robert Eggers, you know, just on a really, really small movie or small project. Then watched Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. Then I finally got to watch The Wild Robot, which is the best animated movie of the year. I hated on this movie so much before it came out, but I'm so glad that I watched it. Hopefully Chuck can come back and I can kind of like talk to him a little bit about that. Then watched Kraven the Hunter, watched Carry On. And Carry On, unfortunately, was not the best Netflix movie that I watched this weekend. The best Netflix movie I watched this weekend was Maria with Angelina Jolie.
Really?
This movie looks good. I mean, I think I think the movie is a bit slow.
But have you seen Rebel Ridge yet?
I've not seen Rebel Ridge.
All right.
I've not. I know. I'm slowly making my way through my list, though. I'm slowly making my way there. Okay. But I enjoyed Maria. I think it looks so good, and Angelina Jolie is so good in this movie, and I think the cast does a good job. I don't even know if I could pull up the names of her chef and like her butler, but they're great. And I think I even got myself like tearing up in this movie. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I feel like you just feel for these characters, or I mean, this was a real person, so Maria Callas, but really enjoyed it. It takes place in Paris. The cinematography is phenomenal. Like I think the aesthetic of this movie is just off the charts. It is so beautiful to watch. Yeah, I think
this director just like makes movies about women and just calls it their name.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
he made Jackie
yeah.
and Spencer and now Maria.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those movies. This was my first Pablo Larraín.
Yep.
This is my first movie I've seen of his, but really enjoyed it. I think it was very interesting to see the life of like someone who's like obviously been at a peak where they're like from the media, like they're always talked about, and then just kind of like slowly goes down and just like kind of goes insane. So I think it was a really fun movie. I don't know. I might even watch it again. I really did enjoy it, and I think for some reason, obviously, just because it's both music like this and Maestro, I think I very much prefer this to Maestro, which came out last year with Bradley Cooper. But Angelina Jolie got nominated for a very good reason. She was very, very good. Then I watched Love Actually, which, come on, I mean,
Come on.
I feel it in my fingers. Come on,
like, I feel it in my toes.
It's just a banger. It's a banger. That's gonna stay in my head.
So I took it 1-1 in the draft.
I know it's a great pick. It's a great pick. And then had a little bit extra time, so I watched the Sabrina Carpenter special, which the skits. I think there was one skit where I chuckled, but then some of the other ones, it's hilarious because like
average SNL episode then for you.
Not because it's funny, but like they do these jokes and they're not funny, but the crowd is like, ha, 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 ha.
Oh.
And I'm like, if I was there, I would just be like.
So it's SNL. She just made an SNL episode, but about herself.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, SNL.
Charles, he's here. Hey, man.
Fellas.
He made it.
That was infuriating.
Dude, I can see you.
The quest between him and his Wi-Fi. Yeah, he's so clear. Look at how clear he is.
Incredible.
Yeah,
that's a man with Ethernet right
you
there.
You missed the debut last week, Jack. Yeah. So I just got back. I went to the flea market this morning, and now everything, because I restarted my computer, everything's like popping up at me because everything's opening. But I got back and I figured, I'll just hop on with 5 minutes to spare. I'll be okay. And then my computer updates. And usually when my computer updates, it takes, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes because it just like like really quick. 1%, minute later, 2%. Minute. I'm like, what is so? Anyway,
well, welcome, King.
What did I miss?
Much.
We just ran through what we've been watching.
Long. Jack, did you get a haircut?
No, it's just my headphones. My headphones like squeezes my hair in.
Have I asked that before?
Yeah.
Ah, damn. Okay.
It's so funny. It's almost like a every other week thing. I love it though. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So we talked about The Family Man.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And Jack agrees with us, kind of. He just, I think it's like anything else. It's like the one that you like from when you were younger just has like a special place.
That's fair.
I didn't talk about the Wild Robot though.
Yeah.
You what?
The Wild Robot.
Yes. Did you like it?
Yeah, man. You got me tearing up, dude. I was like, when I started this movie, I was like, this movie's gonna suck. This movie's like, I watched the trailer. I'm like,
stink.
Like,
so you saw my 4.5-star review and you thought, oh yeah, this movie's gonna be a stinker.
Oh no, I saw the trailer. The trailer was the part where I was like out. Because when she goes, I am a wild robot, I was like, this.
Yeah.
I don't think this is for me. Not even, and I don't know. It just loved it though. Found myself tearing up. I think the ending was a little bit too nice. I think if it was a little bit meaner, I would have liked it. But,
well, there's gonna be another to be alone.
There's another movie coming out, I think, for it. It's a 3-book trilogy.
Interesting.
So
very pretty animation though. I like the animation a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I loved the animation. That's probably my favorite part of it.
What did you watch this week, Charlie?
I watched Goodfellas for the first time.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's the beginning of Goodfellas. Kind of.
Frankly,
you just watched it.
candidly, it took me 2 months to watch it. I started 2 months ago, and I broke it up into 3. So I watched like the first 45 minutes a couple months ago. I think I told you guys about that.
You
We can
treated
go
it like
back
The
to
Hobbit.
we can go to back to episode like 44 and hear about it. But and then I went to bed, and then I watched more of it in the airport a few weeks ago. Didn't finish it, and then I finished it this weekend. It's just not really my kind of movie. I can see how people like it and how it's like deemed like one of the greats. I just think these kinds of movies, it's tough to get me in because I don't really enjoy just shitty people, and doing very terrible things. And a lot of the movie is just a bunch of scumbags doing really bad things, and it's not super enjoyable for me to watch, but it was still good. I gave it 4 stars. And then the only other thing I watched was War of Rohirrim. I was going to try to watch Kraven, but I had my work holiday party on Thursday when I was supposed to go see Lord of the Rings, and then Friday I was going to go see something, but I ended up working until 9, so I didn't really have a ton of time this weekend. Yeah,
Brodus didn't want to see a movie that was better than War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, that's actually a fact.
Jack, I thought you liked War of Rohirrim.
No, I know. I'm joking. I just threw that out there for Hunter.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready to get into it? We had a lot of news. Anything else? Good?
Nope, that's
Good?
all.
We're good? Okay. Let's check it. I was checking. First and foremost, the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes, everyone's second favorite award show, gave out their nominations.
I thought that was for TV shows.
No, the
Emmys.
Golden Globes is for movie and TV. Emmys are just for TV.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know.
What's the what's that award that people win? It's like 4 things.
The EGOT.
The EGOT.
The Emmy, the Golden Globe, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Wait,
Yeah,
what isn't there like an EGOTA? And there's one that's kind of like a shitty category.
Oh.
It's like an award ceremony for worst movies or something.
Oh, Razzie. There's
yes,
the Razzie Awards.
Yeah, the EGOTer. Have you heard that?
How many people won the EGOTer?
I don't know. You think that's like shown online?
Let's see.
Do you think the EGOT is shown online?
Yeah. Yeah. I have the list right here. Do you want me to tell you some people on the list?
Oh, list of EGOT winners. Yeah, on Wikipedia. Shout out Wikipedia.
John, Viola Davis,
Audrey Hepburn,
John Legend. Come on. I think stuff like that is fake.
Mel Brooks.
That's fair.
Huh.
I'll give him that.
A lot of these people I haven't heard of. Barbara Streisand, she won.
You never heard of Barbara Streisand?
I've heard of Barbara Streisand.
Okay.
Liza Minnelli.
But the only real big news with the Golden Globes is that there's a lot of stuff on here that just hasn't been released yet that like is nominated. Like The Brutalist is on here quite a bit. You have A Complete Unknown on here a lot. September 5th on here a lot. The A Real Pain is limited, but it's still out there. Flow is kind of limited. Wallace and Gromit's on here limited, and also like can't really see it just yet. I think it comes out January. But besides
Jack
that,
disgusted.
It's just like frustrating. Like releasing the nominations is supposed to be a fun and exciting time. And because I haven't seen half of these movies, I mean, and I'd even argue like Sing Sing should have been nominated more, but because of the release schedule, it didn't. I feel like no one is like that movie is phenomenal and no one has seen that movie.
Do you think Dune 2 is going to get that many?
Dune 2 will be more of an Oscars movie, if I'm being honest.
Do you think it'll get that many Oscars, though? I mean, it seems like people are just forgetting about it.
I don't know, because that's where... So, if you look at best performance of a male in a motion picture, you have Timothée Chalamet on here for A Complete Unknown, but not for Dune. So... The acting category is empty from Dune. No one in Dune is in the acting categories.
So it sounds, Hunter, and this is completely objectively, an objective view.
Speak your truth.
It sounds like if Dune doesn't get that many Oscars, and Lord of the Rings had 17 Oscars total. I mean, maybe Lord of the Rings is just like the better trilogy.
All right, let's slow down here. Let's slow down here.
Who said that?
Different times. Different times.
Different times.
I think if you showed Dune
Lord of the
and, like,
Rings played in a time where he was playing against plumbers and janitors. All right, now this is the real leagues. Now, all right, this is the real stuff.
Oh,
I'm just, it's just objective. You know, I'm trying to be as objective as possible.
Are you? All right.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting though when we head away from like these big like blockbuster movies and like nominating them for Oscars. Like I'm just like, obviously if they have like the care and the detail that's required to be nominated for an Oscar, sometimes I just don't see why they are. As to where, like, you know, Lord of the Rings got nominated, and that's great. I think that they deserve the Oscars that they received, but I think there's movies that we have now that are very similar type of movies that just don't get nominated.
I think Dune deserves a lot of Oscars.
I also think that Lord of the Rings was given Oscars in 2004 because it earned them over the trilogy.
I got you.
We're like, The Return of the King kind of was the collection of like, we've gotten 3 of these now. Oh my God. You know,
but yeah,
I think that's kind of what it was.
Okay, that's fair.
So you're telling me, so Dune Messiah is going to win all the Oscars?
Correct.
See, that's my rebuttal. Dune Part 2, I just think it's going to be very hard to top that. And Return of the King is in most people's eyes the greatest of the trilogy by a decent margin. I know you guys disagree because we had our conversation a few episodes ago, but like Return of the King, people deem that to be the greatest.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents. We can wait. Wait, when is Messiah supposed to come out? Like 2028, 29?
I think 27.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So sooner rather than later.
Hopefully November or December of 2027.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Because that would help your guys' argument.
That'd help my take.
Because I think Return of the King came out like December 17th or something. I don't know. Yeah, December 17th, 2003.
Good job, man.
Yeah. For the best performance by a male actor, I was very happy to see Coleman Domingo because I think he was very deserving, and I think some of the other individuals, like for supporting actors, were phenomenal as well. So I don't know.
Let's see.
I'm mad about that movie. I'm just so upset because I watched that movie and I thought it was so good, and I still think it is so good. And I'm just like, it's gonna release. I saw they were gonna release it again in early January.
Which movie is it?
Sing Sing.
Right.
It's just kind of like
I just was never was real like by me, which was really annoying.
It was just like in my theater in DC, and I was like, oh, like looks like a good cast, you know. And like Coleman Domingos normally gives a good performance, and I was like, well, I don't know. I got nothing to do, so I went and watched it, and it ended up being, it still is my 3rd favorite movie of the year. So it's like, I don't know. And then all the Timothée Chalamet buzz. Are you guys like buying into the Timothée Chalamet buzz for?
I wasn't until everyone like everything kind of. I always thought this Bob Dylan movie was not going to be very good, and then everything points to it being good now. So I'm kind of bought in.
That's are we issue. Like? Wait, are you asking if we're bought into Timothée Chalamet in general, or like in this movie?
For his performance in this movie, I think we're all bought in on Timmy. I think Timmy's like phenomenal, but I'm just more or less like. I'm interested. Is this performance really that good? Which,
I'm bought in as yes.
I haven't seen that much about it. I know that John is very fired up about this movie. That's kind of all I know about this movie.
I'm pretty pumped for this now.
John B.
Do we think it could be like a Austin Butler type scenario though?
Like an Elvis?
Like where I feel like. Well, no. I'm not saying anything about the movie. I'm saying about the performance. So like Austin Butler's performance, like I think everyone was kind of like, oh, he's got to win an Oscar for this, right? Like it's an Oscar-worthy performance. And then when it kind of narrows down to it, it gets picked for like a legacy Oscar over the actual performance.
I don't know. Because my issue with it is I feel like the Austin Butler thing, like from the first trailer, we were like told he just embodied the role. He like became Elvis. And I feel like we haven't really got that with this. But also I think Elvis is a personality, like people know the Elvis personality. Bob Dylan's personality is like a lot quieter for, I guess, in the cultural sphere. Like you could do an impression right now of just a voice and be like, this is my Bob Dylan. I'd be like, that's pretty good. Because I have no clue. But like I know Elvis. I think most people know Elvis. So
Yeah.
I wasn't super locked in on when Elvis was like up for Oscars, so I don't really have a take on that. And also, I just haven't been super in the know for this complete unknown kind of hype and buzz. So I don't have a great answer for you, and I apologize.
Unforgivable.
It's not cool.
Hunter, I'm sure you were smiling ear to ear though with the
With the Hitman?
best. Yeah,
Yep, Hitman.
I'm happy for him. That's awesome.
I'm
Wait, what did Hitman get?
Glenn Powell got nominated for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical for
Oh,
Hitman.
really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He also got
I'll have
nominated
to-
in the best was it Best Achievement in like Blockbusters or something, and Twisters is in there.
Yeah.
So, which is
I
just
think
like
we
here's
all-
the popularity contest award.
I think we all
That's
know
going to
who's
Wicked.
winning that category, though. Comedy or
Wicked.
musical? It's obviously
Wicked.
Ethan Slater. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I'm telling you now, apparently A Better Man, which is the musical about, is it called A Better Man? I think A Better Man, which is the musical, is like a monkey about Robbie Williams, apparently is the best musical of the year and better than Wicked. So I don't know where I'm going to find a way to see this, and I really know nothing about Robbie Williams, but apparently it's just incredible.
I thought it looked pretty good. It looked very different, which I appreciated.
I
Yeah.
love monkeys, man.
All right.
Heck yeah, dude, for sure.
All right.
I love monkeys.
Okay,
Big monkey guy.
Hopefully, it's not a bad ape.
I gave you that one. That was good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Next piece of news. A$AP Rocky. You can tell how little I know about music. Is cast as the lead in Spike Lee's High and Low, which is pretty cool. It's a reinterpretation of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, and I believe it's also starring Denzel. Yeah, Denzel Washington. So, A$AP Rocky.
It's giving
Yeah,
8 Mile featuring Eminem.
You think so? Except for 8 Mile was what, a biopic?
It
Well,
was.
it's quite possibly the coolest state in the entire
What?
world.
8 Mile's
You
a
being serious,
biopic?
right? Are you being serious right now?
About who?
This guy stinks.
What?
Guy stinks.
No way. You don't know this?
Wow. No, I watched it.
I'm sorry. You watched it?
Yes.
Wait, okay.
Who's
I
it
can't tell
about?
he's being serious.
Oh my god! I'm
You're-
gonna look it up if you guys are gonna be like this.
I feel like he's baiting me to say something.
Should we let him find out for himself if he's gonna search it?
I feel like he's baiting me for like a bit.
Oh, it's based on Eminem's life. I didn't know that there was a biopic about Eminem. I kind of figured it was about Eminem, but I didn't know it was deemed a biopic.
That's
Fair enough.
crazy. That's crazy.
know?
I thought you were trying to
Common
bait me
mistake.
for like a bit or something.
Common
Like to
mistake.
say Eminem, and you were gonna like say something back, to, like prank me.
Yeah, Eminem.
Yeah, I don't know what was gonna happen, but so A$AP Rocky, who was in Dope and Zoolander 2 as himself, pretty hype. Get ready. But yeah,
I'm
that
pretty
is A$AP Rocky news. Aardman, which is the studio behind Wallace and Gromit, who has a new movie coming out early next year, which still counts for the Golden Globes, is teaming up with Pokemon to have a mystery project coming out in 2027, possibly a new movie in that claymation style of Aardman. That sounds pretty awesome to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty interested in this.
Nice.
Two things that I like: claymation
Never been a
and Pokemon.
Pokemon guy, but the claymation stuff is pretty cool. I figured they could do some pretty neat stuff with the Pikachu and the Squirtle and the yeah.
Well, you got another one. Come on, you got another one. Machamp,
Machamp is, or I know it. Charizard.
Psyduck.
Wait, are we
Yeah.
just naming Pokemon right now?
I'm trying to think of any more that I know.
You guys don't know any more
Bulbasaur,
Pokemon?
Bulbasaur,
Jesus
Mewtwo. Well, Chuck and I have been to the Pokemon Center, so we know.
I could
We're in the
probably,
know.
name 20 right now.
I think I can name more if I really tried. I was just
Have you guys seen
I was
those
thinking
TikToks where
Pokemon
it's
Go.
like, Or it's like I can name like 5. Or it's like I can name like 10, and then like they like actually have to do it.
Yeah, and they just can't.
Oh yeah, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is your Pokemon knowledge? And then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a 10," and then they'll ask.
I'm
them,
so
like,
good.
Yeah.
and they won't
Yeah,
know
exactly. And then they'll
Yeah.
name it, and then they'll get to the end, and they'll just forget every single possible. Yeah, that's the vibes that I'm getting right now from this. You want to name 20?
I could. You want me to?
Do we
You
want
want-
to
you-
name 20?
You
Hunter?
want me to?
Yeah, do it in like 30 seconds. See how fast you can do it.
Okay. Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, War Turtle, Blastoise, Charizard, Psyduck, Mewtwo, Mew, who else do we? Caterpie, Weedle, Beedrill.
You're just doing the evolutions. That's a good plan.
How many am I at right now?
You're at 14.
Magikarp, Gyarados, Seeking, Goldeen, Lapras, Walrein. That's a different.
All right, you're good.
Okay.
But also, you didn't name like the most famous one. I don't think you said Pikachu.
Didn't need to.
Damn.
Stud.
That's
Stud.
actually-
It's
that's
on the
actually
screen. I felt like that was too easy.
But yeah, that's going to be coming in 2027. So hopefully we're all still around by then. I thought there was like a report that they were running out of the clay that like they use in their studio. It's clay. Just go get more. Right?
Yeah,
Like-
I've heard that rumor.
Like
It's
just
like
go
the
get some
same
more
thing
clay.
is the color. What's the color in like in White Christmas? Those old movies.
Oh, Technicolor?
Technicolor?
Yeah, like the fact they can't do that anymore. What do you mean you can't do that anymore?
Well, that's like a lost technology. Like clay is just clay, right? I don't know. The comments are angrily typing right now. You guys actually don't know. It's like a very specific clay.
yeah, but Technicolor lost technology. How hard would it be to get that technology back? We got it 80
I
years
guess
ago.
really hard. Really hard.
I
Also, maybe they just don't want to anymore. Like, why would you? Maybe just like I could just film it on digital and it's on my.
because
SD card.
imagine a movie like The Holdovers in Technicolor.
That would not have been the first choice I made to
I feel
describe.
like that would be
I
a
was
little
thinking,
weird,
like,
especially
Wicked.
with the mood
Yeah,
of the
I was
of the
just
movie.
kidding.
Like,
so it's
Yeah, like the gray and browns really just pop.
I was like,
on
I feel like
the
the coloring really works for the
Thank-
whole movie.
thank goodness I was just joking.
screen. Yeah, I'm joking.
That would
I'm
be
just
really crazy if I was
I was serious about it. This next piece of news, no thank you. Live action Tangled is set at Disney. No thanks.
I actually love Tangled, so
No,
I'll
thank
take it. I'll take it.
I'm okay.
I think I'm more interested in who they cast as
Jonathan Bailey.
Rapunzel.
I tell you who they're not going
and
to cast.
Who are
Zachary
they not going to
Levi.
cast?
Yes.
Poor
Oh,
Zachary
well, yeah,
Levi.
he's out. He's done. He's
bye.
got
That
John
Instagram
Hughes.
video he's going to post to be like, congrats, guys. Like, really hope you do really well in this role. It's going to be just so sad. It's gonna be the
Jonathan
saddest
Bailey.
Instagram. You think so?
There was
He
another.
would kill it. I mean,
Yeah.
so for Rapunzel herself, I've seen people say Florence Pugh, and I know Florence Pugh has been like a fan cast for a while. I just don't know about Florence Pugh's singing ability. Maybe I'm just I'm unaware that she has it. But I've also heard Sabrina Carpenter, which
That would be good.
I feel like it'd be good. But then associating like Sabrina Carpenter, like her shows are very like
Well, she's from
sexual.
Disney Channel,
Yes.
right? Like,
No,
that's
I
what
know
she
that,
was.
but it's like I feel like what her brand is now, and then kind of like go. But I think she would be great. I think she would perform great. But I think like mixing the brands might be a little interesting. No,
I see a lot of people on here saying that they want the guy who's in House of the Dragon as Sir Cole to be Flynn Rider. All right, cool. All right, Twitter. Good job casting.
fan cast Chuck is.
I don't know. I'm just so
Flynn
uninterested
Rider.
in these live action ones. Yeah, Charles should be Flynn Rider. We'll start the
yeah,
campaign.
yeah. Look at that jawline. Come on,
Look at that
do it
guy.
again.
I
Do
know
it
it's
again.
so wrong.
Yeah, handsome fella.
I actually
Uh,
love Tangled. I think it's a great movie.
I'm so over these. I'm really debating not even seeing not Lord of the Rings, The Lion King too. I'm really debating not seeing it.
I've heard good reactions. I mean, obviously,
I'm just
it's
so uninterested in it compared to Sonic.
Yeah.
I'd see Sonic twice over seeing Lord of the
I've heard it's the movie of the year.
Sonic looks good.
Sonic does look good. And be careful. The post-credit scene is leaked online, so if you don't want to get spoiled, you guys, be careful.
Pikachu showing up.
Yeah, I'm here to do the Smash
Detective
Bros. Initiative.
Pikachu?
They make a joke about that in the trailer.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I was saying.
Next piece is that the Indiana Jones game, which just came out, apparently is better than the last 2 movies, which is just like depressing to think about. Apparently the story is just like a lot better, and like it's just a really good game. So I hope I can find a way to play it because it's on Xbox only right now. I think it's coming to PlayStation, but we'll see.
Poor Harrison Ford, man. Poor Harrison Ford.
He deserved better.
He did. He deserved way better.
But yeah, that was just quick. I just want to note that because I think it's funny. All right, I'm trying to order these in like least interesting to most interesting. Okay, this one we talk about a lot, so it's not super interesting. But the Beatles, the Beatles cast apparently is finally set. They figured out who they're going to be. So Paul Mescal is Paul McCartney. Harris Dickinson is John Lennon. Barry Keoghan is Ringo Starr. And there's like a double. I think that Joseph Quinn is going to be George Harrison. They're all saying Charlie Rowe might be George Harrison, but I think it's Joseph Quinn based on everything that I've seen. So we got our Beatles.
Can I be real?
Yeah. Hey, speak your truth, man.
I'm very over all this Beatles nonsense.
I think we talk about it a lot.
I'm very over it.
It's the Beatles.
And we haven't even gotten a single movie yet.
As
and
for
the fact that I'm already over it,
not good.
A bad indicator. But oh well.
Hey, it's the Beatles. Me, Ringo. I still think Ringo's gonna be the best movie. I'm convinced. They should make the Ringo movie like claymation, and like that's who Aardman should make the movie of.
Turn him into a giraffe.
Yeah, he just lives in the Yellow Submarine. Barry Keoghan is Ringo Starr.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great.
Yeah, that's why. Hey, I just said I put it least interesting, most interesting. So that's why it was in the beginning. All right, that's why I put it first. Also, in that same vein, Tom and Jerry, huh? Yeah, anybody?
Big Tom and Jerry guy. Not sure about a movie though.
Oh, okay. Well, July 2027. Mark your calendars, I guess. I don't know. My opinion is no thanks.
These are pretty uninteresting so far, Hunter.
Well, I'm sorry. I told you they're not that.
He actually ordered them from most interesting to less interesting.
Yeah, so just wait till we get to the end here.
We're working our way towards the really bad ones.
Yeah, this one is not great. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse apparently still has not recorded any lines. Yikes. So we're still probably a couple of years from that movie.
These are bumming me out. Why aren't they recording lines? It's a huge hit. Why are they spending time on the Sony villains when they have this marinating?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I don't sit in the boardroom. I don't sit there. But yeah. Sorry, man. Well, we can move on from that one. We can move on. How about this one? This one moved the needle at all? Sean Levy getting back together with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman for a boy band movie about 2 guys who were in a boy band together when they were younger, and now they're middle-aged and they want to get back together.
Yep, I'll take that.
This sounds not bad.
I'll take that.
I like the idea of this. Will it be funny? I don't know. But I like it more than the last piece of news.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Last 3 pieces, really.
I think it'd be very funny if like they had 3 members and one of them just like was dead, but they couldn't find him and they were dead. Not in like a negative way, but like you do it like a funny way. I don't know.
Okay.
That was darker than I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, especially with the One Direction stuff, man. I was like, it's too early, man.
Yeah.
I know you weren't thinking it like that. I was like, oh man, it's a little early.
It's a great point, Jack.
Next
piece of news. Sorry, Jack.
Have you guys seen Eurovision?
Yeah.
It's like I thought it was gonna be like the worst movie ever. It's a heaping piece of trash probably to a lot of people, but I enjoyed it. So it's
I like Eurovision.
If it can be replicated with like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, just like funny, goofy songs, or like maybe good songs, with some humor thrown in.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. And an all-time cameo right there from the Matt Damon man.
Oh, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, you king.
Yeah.
All right, this one I like. I don't know if you guys like this, but Malcolm in the Middle revival set at Disney Plus with Frankie Muniz, Bryan Cranston, and the mom and Jane Kaczmarek. Tall to return. Anything? Chuck just yawned. I'm thinking no.
I saw that news. I didn't watch Malcolm in the Middle, so
I liked Malcolm in the Middle.
I couldn't care less about this.
I was a big when I first got Netflix, I would watch Malcolm in the Middle. I think it's a good show.
Okay.
I never watched it.
The news is not moving anybody today. We're gonna chop through the bad stuff to get to the good stuff.
We're just really excited for Kraven.
All right, Warhammer 40K coming to Amazon Prime, starring Henry Cavill, and I think produced by Henry Cavill. Actually happening now. He just announced fully. It's like they're starting production and everything. Anything? Nope.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah. All right, this one. This is the one, baby. What if I told you that Jeremy Allen White was coming to Star Wars as Rhoda the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt's son, who's about this big? Yeah? Yeah? Huh?
Jeremy Allen White. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just such a bummer. I do not care about Star Wars at all. They have just ruined my ability to like Star Wars. No thanks. Man. What? Why would you cast Jeremy Allen White in this role?
Like, he's such a presence, you know?
Yes. I would like to see him.
To get him covered up in... Okay, he's not even going to be covered up. To throw just his... Maybe he's a good voice actor. Who knows? You know? I don't know. What if he just shocks us and he's quite possibly one of the greatest voice actors we've ever heard and he's just completely unrecognizable? Or what if he's just like, Jabba, hands, I need hands.
Hands. I don't get this at all. My only thought is maybe this is like a small cameo where like he's just like a voice and he's like, I just want to be in Star Wars. And he is. This
like Daniel Craig being the stormtrooper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. This just means nothing to me. My love for Star Wars is just at an all-time low. Mm-hmm. I do not care at all.
Love the originals, but I just think that the recent stuff is just I agree. It's just
not good.
It's fine.
All right. Before we get to the comic book news, I got two last pieces of regular news. Glenn Powell stars in erotic thriller Homewreckers. Any excitement here?
You're excited for that.
I am excited for it. I think it sounds pretty good. I will say this continues the trend of Glenn Powell picking like Tom Cruise-esque movies where he's not jumping on a franchise, which I like. So
no, I like it. I mean, I think I already said this earlier this year, but you literally throw Glenn Powell on almost anything, and
I'm there.
I'm there.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I think he is at that. I think he's at that point in like his like stardom that I think I'll show up to the theater. He's in a trailer, dude. I'm there.
Consider me
Not
set.
Really, but
I mean, he made my top 4 for next year. The Running Man.
Indeed.
All right, last piece of news before we get to comic book stuff. Austin Butler has been cast as Patrick Bateman in Luca Guadagnino's new take on American Psycho. I thought this was pretty cool. Yeah, Jackson. Yeah.
So excited. Originally, I was like really terrified that they were going to remake this movie because I think the original is great. Christian Bale is phenomenal. And I think I think making a new one, you're not trying to replicate Christian Bale. I think you're going to have to And I think Luca Guadagnino was like perfect choice to direct this movie because early on I was like, they're remaking this. I don't know if I love this. And then they picked him to direct. And I was like, all right, well, I kind of like that approach. And then they cast Austin Butler. Mm-hmm. And I've never been more excited for this movie. I'm genuinely so excited to see Austin Butler kind of like do his own personal Patrick Bateman, see how that molds. And I think Luca Guadagnino has been very vocal about how he wants this to be a different interpretation of the film. He doesn't want this to be a shot-for-shot remake or I'm sure dialogue may cross over from the original, but from the things I'm hearing, it sounds like this isn't going to be just a straight copy.
Yes,
That was my main
that's
concern as
insane.
well. But I'm in if it's like a more modern, newer take.
Do you think if it's like modern and newer, he's just dealing in like cryptocurrency and stuff?
He might.
Like he's just like a banker, but he's like, have you heard of Doge? And he's just really pissed about like all that stuff. What would like the business card scene be now? I guess Charlie, you'd know more than the other rest of us.
They're still business cards.
Yeah, but do you think it's different now? Like, do you think it's like the digital? He's like, oh, look at that. Oh,
They got to have LinkedIn. I mean, I
yeah,
don't think they
there it
will, but
is.
like,
Thank you, Jack. There was
oh
something
my
there.
god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's LinkedIn. He has LinkedIn Pro. Oh my gosh!
His profile views are up 300% the past few weeks.
No, and then I saw another one that was funny, and it was like, I'm sorry, I have to return some 4K Ultra DVDs.
Yeah.
It's like,
Look at all his endorsements on his skills. It's unbelievable.
I'm excited. I'm genuinely like so pumped for this movie. And Austin Butler, like, he's just awesome. And I think everything he's been in since Elvis has been like a gold mine, or not a gold mine, but like everyone is. Just
I think
like,
he should be nominated for Fade Alpha in the Oscars come around.
He's awesome. I agree. I agree.
Alpha.
The Dune hate does not end. The disrespect.
We'll protect Dune with our lives.
Exactly.
May it chip and shatter. Here we go. Comic books, baby. Let's talk about it. Superman trailer this week happening. Apparently, when this episode drops on Monday the 16th, there's apparently going to be a big press thing happening where they're going to show the trailer off. Press probably going to be like, it's the greatest trailer ever, and then make us all sit and wait for it for 4 days, which sucks. But the other big rumor there is that at this press thing happening, they're going to announce the merger of the Matt Reeves universe with the DC universe combined, where Robert Pattinson is going to be the Batman for the DCU, which I think is just the smartest idea. Why would we do two Batmen? It's so dumb.
Especially when Robert Pattinson's Batman was so good.
Yes. It's like, we got the Batman we want. Let's just go. We're ready.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack with a question for the crowd.
Not that I object, but I feel like I don't object. I'm just very interested to see the artistic direction that these movies will take, because I think it's been very clear, like, this is the darkest Batman movie we have. The Batman it represents Gotham, and it shows Gotham in all of its glory, or all of its not glory. It just shows that it is trash, but like, it looks great, like Gotham is a living, breathing character in this movie.
Yes, which it should be.
It should be. And from the photos and everything we've seen from Superman, it's it's just the difference too. It's like Superman, he goes and saves people during the day. It's like Batman, he's a nocturnal animal. From the pictures we've seen from Superman, it's just hard for me to put the Batman next to that character.
I think, Jack, you just described the appeal of why Batman and Superman are friends. You just described the whole comic book genre of like why that they're good together.
I know, but
that is it.
I know. I agree.
Difference is what makes it cool.
No, I know. I have a tough time, like, and honestly, I think it'd be great. Honestly, even though Batman or Superman was not, like, by no means, that was not like the greatest portrayal of those two characters meeting,
because they made them both Batman.
Yeah, I got you. It was like he was a very dark character. I got you. And for me personally, though, I just think the world that we built through Gotham is like such. Just in terms of like the color grading of this movie, or like, not even like the color grading, but like the filter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm just very interested, and not that I'm saying I'm out on it. I'm just very interested to see these two characters interact. And I agree, the difference does make it entertaining, but I'm a little cautious.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that's just, for me, that's the appeal. Where it's like you have the dark Batman with the Boy Scout who lives in the city of color and wonder. And like the fact that they're now friends and have kind of the same moral mission, even though they go about it in such different ways, is the interesting part to me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
And also I just really want more Batman, so I'll take it. I really would just like it. So, but yeah, I'm pretty. I think that should happen, and the reason why people are saying that's going to happen is because we're getting a Clayface movie. Clayface is coming to the DCU, which is apparently going to be written from Mike Flanagan, who is probably best known for Doctor Sleep, which was actually a very good spiritual sequel to The Shining. But let me see if I can pull up some other stuff from him. See if anyone else. So Mike Flanagan, The Haunting of Hill House. Actually, new one this year, The Life of Chuck is coming out, which apparently is quite good. But it's like again, what you just talked about. Can't find it anywhere to watch.
The Life of Chuck.
The Life of Chuck. Do you
I know
realize
The
that?
Haunting of Hill House has like a crazy following.
Yeah, Midnight Mass.
You see it every Sunday on this podcast.
So true. So true. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped for this.
This is a horror. I mean, this is full horror. Like, this is going to be.
And they're saying small budget, like they're giving it like $40 million budget. So like it should just make money no matter what. And they want to do something different, which I think that is the point of the DC universe, is to do weird, different stuff. And the other rumor is that because it's going to be set in Robert Pattinson's DC world. I don't know. It's too much rumors. Just lay it out for me. Just give me what it is. I'm tired of these rumors. It's sickening. So over the rumors and all this bull. Give me a time. I want a timeline. I want a nice, clean timeline.
I will say, I feel so confident after what they did with the Penguin.
Agreed.
About the future, because we said this before. The fact that he's a villain, there's parts where you like him, and that's supposed to happen. But in the end, you hate him. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. So I don't think they're going to be like, Clayface is going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to save the citizens of Gotham. You know, like, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I feel like at the end, this is going to be like super, and especially like having Mike Flanagan, who appears to literally just be one of the biggest horror directors of, I mean, he's got like, what, 14 horror movies that he's directed? Like,
yeah.
It is in good hands. Or rumored. Is it rumored, right?
No, it's confirmed it's happening.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no. It's just more of the rumor of like how it's connected. Is it connected? Like what's going on? That's the stuff where it annoys me. Like I get they want to do these DC Elseworld stories where like they're not connected. But give me like a one graphic. I want to see the timeline. I want to be like, here's where we're at, here's where it's going. Like just give me that and I'll be all okay. It's too confusing right now. I don't like that. But next week on the pod will be exactly. The next week on the pod we'll be talking about Superman, which is very exciting to think about. So
I have one more thing to say. Can I say one more thing?
Yes,
Sorry.
please do.
Would you rather have them list it all out and then them change it like Marvel's done for the past like 5 years, or that? Because like I feel like what Marvel's done is just kind of given false hope towards certain projects and then just kind of like ripped them away. Like it does suck to not be in the know for a lot of stuff, but when it comes up, it's super exciting because it's like, oh, it's going to come out next year or like, 2 years from now. Is where Marvel was planning like, and obviously you got to plan pretty far in advance, but that doesn't mean you have to like release it to the public,
Yeah, I'm not saying I need like to 2035, but like they've announced Supergirl, they've announced Clayface. We know Batman Part 2 is coming. Like we know Superman. Like give me like the stuff that is already confirmed 100%.
Yeah.
I just want that in a nice little line, and it's like this is together or this is separate, and then I can kind of just start mentally planning it, I guess.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
So, all right.
Valid.
MCU. 2 big castings coming back for Avengers Doomsday. Haley Atwell is coming back as Agent Carter, and Chris Evans is coming back in a mystery role, which apparently is going to be Nomad. Does this move the needle at all?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes me want to go see it more, but I don't know if I'm more excited for the movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I'd be more excited if Chris Evans wasn't just in Deadpool Wolverine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like Chris
it was
Evans
just there.
is clinging onto that.
Yeah. You mean Red 1 wasn't a big success? What?
Oh.
You mean Jack O'Malley isn't going to win an
Yeah,
Oscar?
Jack O'Malley is not the next Oscar winner?
Callum
Also,
Trevorrow, maybe?
quite possibly the biggest news of the week that I think we forgot. Red 1 is now available for streaming on Prime.
Yes, you can watch Red 1 with your families. Make them all sit through it.
You can just turn it on and watch it how many times you want. Sorry, I just
Red 1 also lost like 200
back to back.
Life has never been this good.
Red 1 lost all of the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel like? Do you think if they bring in more people, like like if they're bringing in Chris Evans and RDJ, like what's going to stop them from bringing in like Scarlett Johansson?
See, I agree. Here's my issue with this. It's like, all right, we did the passing of the torch. The torch has been passed. Let them do it. Like, let them take over. Like, let Anthony Mackie be Captain America. Like, I don't need the Chris Evans shadow hanging over his head.
Yeah.
Like, let Doctor Strange become the leader of the MCU. Like, or let, I don't know, like Captain Marvel take over a little more. Like, I just let them do it. Because what we're doing is now we're just like feeding everyone nostalgia berries from South Park and just being like, remember this, remember this, remember this. It's like, I get it. I get it. It's just like, move on. Because if you don't move on, your audience is going to move on. And that would be the negative. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you have the people in place. It's just do it. Annoying. Oh, well. That's it for news. Anything else on that?
No.
Breaking news.
Oh.
We got our What If episode guide.
Oh, do share.
And let's just say, we are not back.
Well, it is What If.
They're all Captain Carter.
Here's what we got.
What if Captain Carter went out to lunch?
What if the Hulk fought the Mech Avengers?
Yeah.
What if Agatha went to Hollywood?
Oh!
What if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, for sure.
What if Howard the Duck got hitched?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What if the Emergence destroyed the Earth? What if 1872? Whatever that means. What if the Watcher disappeared? And then the last episode is What If?
Whoa.
Has anyone ever fumbled an idea like as badly as Marvel did with What If?
I don't think so. This is terrible.
It's actually shocking how like you could do anything you want.
The comments are lighting them up.
That's amazing.
My biggest problem with What If is we're bringing back Chris Evans. We're bringing back RDJ. Why didn't they do this in a What If episode?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why are you doing it in a movie? Like,
also, they just never did the one that's the coolest idea. What if the other half got snapped?
That's what everyone is.
It's like that is you had your T-ball. You get T-ball and you got, I don't know, someone behind the mat. Bam. It's like what? You missed. You whiffed it.
Most like comment. You had the opportunity to do What If the Other Half Got Blipped, which everyone has been asking for, and you blew it. TBH, these episodes look like the worst out of the three. This show has just been a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, Storm's in this. I don't care. I just don't care. You've made it not interesting. So, ugh. That was bummer breaking news.
Great news, though, Chuck. You're really on.
Yeah, really good job.
Nice
Yeah, it was really good. Displaying the news.
Yeah. Just scrolling on the internet while we're talking.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. All right, trailers.
When I brought that up, I was like, I wonder if they'll think like too deep into this and realize.
Nah.
Anyway. Trailers. First up, Novocaine. When the girl of his dreams is kidnapped, a man incapable of feeling physical pain turns his rare condition into an unexpected advantage in the fight to rescue her. Starring Jack Quaid, Ray Nicholson, and Amber Midthunder. This is just Kick-Ass, right? Isn't this just Kick-Ass? Like, this is the plot of Kick-Ass.
I haven't seen Kick-Ass, unfortunately.
Kick-Ass is literally he becomes a superhero because he feels no pain.
Isn't that Unbreakable?
I think, yeah, that's also Kick-Ass. I don't know. I like the idea, but like he also just does get hurt. Like he doesn't feel it, but he is hurt.
Like if he gets shot, oh no, I don't feel it. Well,
there's a part where like the gun goes into like a deep fat fryer, and he like puts his hand to get the gun. He's like, "Well, I got it." His hand is still all kinds of messed up. I don't know.
I think it's funny because I watched it and I'm just like, Huey is getting a spinoff movie. I love that for him.
Yeah, good for Huey. He finally became a super.
I love Jack Quaid. I love him in The Boys. I would like him maybe to take obviously, not that he was a massive role in Oppenheimer, but like, I was for it. You know, like I'd like to see him in a little bit more dramatic role. And if there
he
are
does have that
movies
one
out there,
coming out. What's that called?
yeah, because I think we talked about him having a dramatic
Companion.
role.
Companion comes out where he's like almost a
Companion.
villain.
Okay, I want to see that.
Yeah,
This
it comes
I'm
out
not
in
fully
January.
in on, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we talked about it though. We did our due diligence. Let's do Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes: The Day the Earth Blew Up. I'm pumped for this movie. I'm actually very excited for this. I think it's
I feel like
great.
I feel like Looney Tunes really goes with your Muppet love. I feel like
Yeah.
these
I
guys
really like
just-
the Looney Tunes. Okay. Chuck's saying it like it's a negative, first and foremost. It's a very
Yeah.
yeah. This guy. This guy.
I will.
It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So
I'll concede, Hunter. I'm not totally. I don't totally understand the Muppet love. I also haven't seen any Muppets movies. Maybe that's why. But
you didn't watch Muppet Christmas Carol? Oh,
no, he didn't. And he goes, "I'll watch it next week." And then Justin said, "Watch the last 20 minutes of Goodfellas," and it was like,
"That's not what I said. I said I'd watch it before Christmas. Go back to episode 48. That's what I said."
This guy calling out previous episodes. I'm pretty excited for this. I like Daffy like a lot, and I think Porky Pig is pretty great. So
yeah, I bet you would.
All right.
I feel like it's a nostalgia thing. You know, like obviously the Muppets, like growing up, you either watched the Muppets or you watched Looney Tunes or you didn't, you know. I don't think the vast majority of this audience turns 22 years old and is like, I'm going to start getting into the Muppets or I'm going to get into like Daffy.
They should. First of all,
no,
they should.
I'm not saying that that's the wrong route, but I'm just saying I feel like that's the gateway. Like that's the very common, like as you're younger, you're just kind of introduced to it. And it's just like, I feel like most people don't like decide, I'm going to become obsessed with the Muppets like right now. Like I feel like it's just like a culmination of like Muppet stories throughout their life, and it's like, oh, this is what I like, you know?
Yeah. But this trailer looked pretty great. I thought.
I'm not out on it. I'm just like I'm not a massive Looney Tunes person.
Same.
That's fair. That's fair. And
So
we're
I
gonna
think I
find
might
out
need
when
to
we
see
see it in February.
Big Space Jam guy though. So
I didn't see any of these when I was younger. I didn't watch Tom and Jerry. I didn't watch the Muppets. I didn't watch Looney Tunes.
What were you doing?
I was
watching
a SpongeBob.
NPR.
he's playing Legos, bro. Come on.
Yeah. He's playing Legos. All right. Fine. We'll move on. 28 years later, a movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson that looks good. So that's a bonus for Aaron Taylor Johnson. Good for him. This does look pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. This looks really quite good.
It looks a little too scary for me.
Sorry.
This
I love it. I love that you're self-aware. You know, I feel like I like that you're able to tell yourself, you know what, I don't think this is for me. And
dude, in War of Rohirrim, I got freaked out at that one part with the troll. You know what I'm talking about? And when they're outside in the winter?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I literally, holy, I did one of those.
That's funny.
Didn't like it.
Well,
I haven't seen the first one. I've heard
Neither
the
have
first
I.
one.
And I tried to find a way to watch it, and you can't.
Yes.
You can't watch it anywhere because it's not streaming anywhere. You can't rent it anywhere. You have to have it on physical media, which, I mean, come on. That's pretty awesome. That it's point proven for people like me. But it's like $100 right now because it's out of print. So you have to like find it secondary. So apparently it's going to re-release soonish to people to watch it, but that's just
That'd
like
be
hilarious.
Fun.
Yeah.
I love that. That'd be so much fun. Like I think they should do this more, with just like not every movie, but like I'm not saying they need to release like every Sonic movie before the third one, but like I feel like that would be like fun, maybe for people that haven't seen the first two and like just
there's a second one
one
too.
night.
Yeah, with Jeremy Renner, our good boy Jeremy Renner. Wow,
nice.
Very nice.
I have something completely unrelated to trailers.
Okay.
I was thinking about this in the theater though this weekend. I think theaters should stream March Madness games.
There was talk about that.
Really?
Like doing I know Super Bowl was a big one. People like you go and you watch it at the theater.
Super Bowl's a little different though because a lot of people have parties. Like March Madness,
It just is on all day and you kind of go in and out as you want.
keep the lights on. You can go with your buddies, watch it on a huge screen.
I think that would work at theaters that have like, because some are, they have the like tables there for like food, like if they're food focused theaters. That would probably work. You like order wings and stuff. I don't know. I actually like that.
I feel like I think I would prefer the bar.
I still think live concerts is the best idea for it.
Live concerts were fun.
Like you go and you see like they're like, we're in New York, but we're playing it across the world. And theaters like tonight, same time, same place. I think that'd be kind of fun. People like Taylor Swift could do that.
Yeah.
All right. Ready for reviews? Ready for Kraven the Hunter? We'll start with that since Chuck didn't see it.
I'm gonna keep my headphones on for this one because couldn't care less about spoilers.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna actually go right. We're gonna go right into spoilers. So there's no non-spoiler section for Kraven the Hunter. All right, Jack, do you want to go first on this?
Sure.
Okay.
First, I want to say I don't think this like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like personally, I think the highlights of this is Aaron Taylor Johnson and Russell Crowe. I think there's a few parts where I don't love Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance, but in the end, I don't think this is something where I'm like I see this as a massive negative for him. Like it continues to like grow his brand and his name. Like him and Russell Crowe, I'd say, are the best part about this movie.
Had a great cast. I was shocked by this cast.
Like, I just don't know. And I think the biggest downfall is the writing. I think the writing is just possibly all-time bad.
It was like chopped to no belief.
I got to about a quarter of the way into the movie, and the problem is they spend way too much time talking about his past and what happened there, and I just did not care at all. I feel like they could have summed that up in like 2 minutes, and it'd be like, sweet, I'm in, But
yes.
I think spend way too much time, especially with the younger version of the character. But I found myself about like a quarter of the way into the movie, and some of these lines and some of the delivery, I'm just like, it just doesn't work for me. And then I'm going to try and start like writing some of these down. Like there was one of the deliveries. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold up.
There was a scene where Ariana DeBose is talking, and I think it's a CGI mouth. Like I think they CGI over her mouth, say something different. Where they're like in his hideout or whatever, and they're like going back and forth. I'm almost positive. I was like, I think her mouth is fake right there.
Okay, I just have a couple quotes that I really want to point out.
All right.
She goes, "You're not the only one with secrets," and I think that I feel like those are like the quotes that people say. Like he's right behind me, isn't he? Like those are.
He
like
did that.
Kind of like
he did
jokes.
that. He literally did the "I'm right behind you."
Oh my gosh. It's just, I don't think it ends with this movie. I think there's just an endless amount of deliveries or lines that are just like, and the one that I think is towards the end, they just go into a frenzy of like, oh, let's just try and throw in more villains. And his brother goes,
The Foreigner was crazy. That guy.
Well, his brother goes, you know me. I have always been a chameleon. I'm just.
But it looked cool. It looked cool. Hang on, but it looked cool. The mask looked just like Chameleon from the comic. Like it looked cool.
I don't know about you. I didn't have sure there was a couple parts of the movie that I didn't think looked great, but I think for the most part it's one of the better looking Sonyverse movies. Is that wrong to say? Okay.
I would agree. I think it looked good, and I also, for me, it felt like it was 4 movies in one. It felt like it was just chopped to no belief. Like, I watched a couple of the trailers afterwards, and there are scenes in those trailers that just never happened in the movie. There was one where he's like fighting somebody, and he has on the final like Kraven outfit.
Yeah.
I was like, where was this? I just think that this was, they got real lost in the sauce making this, or like they didn't like it, and they tried to retool it, and it's just like, oh god. But Christopher Abbott, who is I think a very good actor, and is kind of up and coming, playing this like 1, 2, 3 guy was just an insane choice. What a waste.
Yeah. I think it was a really cool character. I didn't know this character at all,
Neither did anybody else, because they didn't tell us anything about the guy.
It was neat, but I also feel like he kind of just got like for how good his powers were, how he died, I was just kind of like, I mean, I guess it made sense because he wasn't paying attention, but at the same time, I'm just like, if you could move like that, like how does...
I don't know.
I don't know. And then she just shows up and she's like, "You're not the only one with secrets." And it's just like, come on, come on.
What are we doing here? This could have been such a simple movie. It should have been him with the list. He had a list, and he was hunting people on the list. And then the final name on his list was his dad. His dad figured it out and then sent after maybe Rhino after him or whoever they wanted after him. And then he got the suit, and the ending is him killing his dad. And then if they really wanted to, that he could be done with his list, and then someone calls him and was like, "I got one more name to add to your list, and it's Spider-Man." Simple ending, call it a day, we're done. But no, they had to do the mysterious like liquid that gave him powers, and like here's Rhino, but also here's Chameleon, and also here's this guy who counts funny for some reason. Like, it's just all over the place. Not great.
And Ariana, that you said DeBose is how you say the last name? I thought
Oscar winner.
Fine. I just did not like. They tried to force this chemistry with her and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and for me, it just like did not work at all.
They didn't know each other.
Yeah, like he just shows up years later.
Strangers.
He's like, "Hey, I've been watching you," and she's like, "Oh my gosh,
me?
Like, you're the boy," and he's like,
"Yeah, it was me. I was."
The costume at the end was filthy.
Cool.
Filthy.
Cool.
Such a waste of a costume. Such a waste.
Yes, and it's like that's what I want him to look like.
Let's give him his best outfit for the last 10 seconds of the movie. Like,
and all of the posters have him in this cool outfit.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
I think
I just wanted take this cast and put him in Tom Holland's world, and we're good. Like, I'd love to see Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven in that world, hunting down Peter Parker. I want to see Fred Hitchinger, or whatever his name is, as the Chameleon, who was also really good in Gladiator with Russell.
Yeah.
Crazy Russell Crowe connection right there. Christopher Abbott is a good up-and-coming actor who's going to be in The Wolfman. Put him in that world. It's like, why are we wasting people in this stuff? Stupid. Yeah. Stupid and dumb.
I don't know about you, but I feel like a lot of the discourse I've seen online are people just upset because I think it was like the Spider-Man 2 game, which I did not play, but I did kind of see some of the storyline. Everyone says the Kraven moments in that video game
are great.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes. And like, I think you could have done that here. Or like, even in the beginning, you could have been like, he is preparing for his greatest hunt. And it's just teased like this great hunt is coming. So he has to train by like taking out all of the people. And at the end, it could have been revealed now that he's like ready for it. And he's got like his new suit. He's ready for that final hunt. And it is Spider-Man. Like, that would have been a cool kind of, here we go. We're setting up a villain in its own movie to actually become a villain in Spider-Man. But no, we did all this other dumb stuff. Ugh, what a waste.
What a waste.
The action
I will say, the action, I think the action was good, but I think it, for the R rating, I think it could have been a lot more gory.
Yes, if you're going to do it.
Yeah, and I think the parts where they fully dedicate to themselves to like these gory fights, I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they do it enough to where it's rated R.
Yes, and the Spider-Man spinoffs are dead.
Did you like Russell Crowe? I feel like I liked him in this.
I liked Russell Crowe in this. I think he was perfectly fine in this. He wasn't like anything more. He wasn't anything less. I think he was just fine.
Okay.
And I think I honestly believe. Don't hang on a sec. Don't make me bet on this, but I would not be shocked if in a few years, like, all the deleted scenes come out, all the other stuff comes out, and someone online re-edits this movie, and it's very coherent and like is maybe like 90 minutes, and it just works a lot better. I would not be shocked if that happened. So I'm gonna put my take meter out there that they're gonna re-edit Kraven the Hunter, and it's gonna be good somehow. But yeah, so Sonyverse is dead.
So before we say goodbye to the Sonyverse, I added up some of the numbers that have been attached to this incredible universe that we've got to live through over the past 5 years, 6 years, maybe. I don't remember when.
7 years.
7 years.
I think it was 2017.
But they have really been pumping it for the past year, though. They have released half of their movies over the course of 2024. So they have gone into overdrive.
They really just ran it.
I'm curious. I don't know what you guys would rather me tell you. So I added up all the box office, all the budget for these movies. Okay. And I want you guys to guess how much money all 6 of these movies made at the box office. And I'll do the budget first so you can kind of get like a ballpark. Okay. So the budget for all 6 of these movies. Okay. I'll read you the names just to remind you. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, Madam Web, Venom the Last Dance, and Kraven the Hunter. Okay. The budget for all of these movies combined, a $595 million.
That's a lot less than I thought it would be.
Same.
I know. I was shocked. I was shocked at how much less these were, but
I'm guessing they made 350.
I'm gonna go with they made 1.7 million combined. It's $1 billion combined.
Combined, these movies made $2.1 billion.
Oh, so close. I knew it. The first Venom almost made $1 billion by itself. I remember.
I didn't know that.
It's unreal.
The first Venom was like 800 or something.
I didn't know that.
It is interesting because if the Venom 1 and 2 alone make up about $1.3 billion.
Yeah.
And
the new one is like 500 already.
Yeah, the new one has been a success as well. But I think the numbers that get really interesting is when you look at like Madam Web. All right, I think that's really the only one, and probably Kraven. Keep in mind though, I only included $12 million, which is the domestic opening for Kraven. And I'm not saying like it's gonna make a ton of money, but like it'll probably bring in more than it's definitely gonna bring in more than $12 million, which it definitely, people watched it overseas,
So
whatever.
that's what we're saying. They did it.
Yes, massive. But Morbius had a budget of 75 and box office was 167, which is just insane. And then the final number I want to ask you guys for is the Rotten Tomatoes scores for these movies averaged out. Would you rather have it where you guess the total for the Rotten Tomatoes for all 6?
I think the average.
Or the average.
Average.
Okay. All right, so the average rating for the Sonyverse, I have the critics and I have the audience score. Okay.
Okay, critics, I'm gonna go with the 17. No, 20. I'm gonna go 20 for critics. For audience, I'm gonna go for 52.
What do you say, Chuck?
I was going to say 53, and I don't know the difference between the two, so I'll just say 53 for both. I mean, I know the difference between the two. I don't know how how they vary, how they deviate though.
Okay. So the critics, a total score of 170 with an average of 28.3.
Oh, I underestimated.
Not as critical as you thought, or actually they were very critical. The problem is like
early
some
Venom
of these
1
movies
and 2
early on, Venom 1 and Venom 2, Venom got 30 and then Venom 2 got 58. And then after that it's 15, 11, 41 and then 15. So it's just it's tough. So now the audience had an average of 74.
Really?
74. Yes.
God.
Wow.
Oh.
There's a lot of Venom heads out there, right? There's a lot
the
of Venom
lowest the craziest thing is the lowest rated audience movie among these is Madam Web with 55 for audience.
Yeah, Madam Web doesn't shock me though. Well, Letterboxd is a lot lower, but
yeah, I mean Letterboxd we could probably add that up, but I figured Rotten Tomatoes is and obviously these scores aren't necessarily what people rate it. It's more or less like, is this movie over a 6 out of 10 or something? But I thought that would just be interesting because like
that is interesting.
I mean, whether these movies have been great or not, I mean, clearly audience scores are pretty high and they made more $1 billion. So
more billion.
Goodbye to the Sony universe. Thank you for
the last thing before we get into Lord of the Rings is we got a letter to our P.O. box. And I'll read it from a fan. For the listening audience, let me give you some ASMR. Dear movie guys, you are my favorite podcast. Oh, thank you. We listen every time Mrs. Couch leaves the class to call her new boyfriend. Oh. My question is, what happens to cinematic universes when they die? From Sasha in Mrs. Couch's 4th grade class. Well, Sasha, Thank you for the letter. Thank you for the letter. And what they do is they actually all get together every single Christmas, and they hold a celebration of life, and also they try to raise money to get sequels. And we have a clip from that we can show right now. So this is for you, Sasha. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't care about the Oscars or the other awards evil. I just want to be my own, more than studios could ever know. Make my wish come true. Woo, woo, woo. All I want for Christmas is no reboot. Yeah. I don't have the best box office, and it isn't what I need. Oh, I don't care about the reviews from the letterbox dweebs, and I don't have a sequel now, but the post-credit scene is out. Fans won't make me happy, ignoring me on Christmas Day. Oh, I just want another chance, more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is no reboots, baby. Well, Sasha, that was for you. That was a clip from this year's from show. So I hope you enjoyed that.
That was phenomenal. The holding of the note towards, no reboot.
Yeah, well, Kraven's very talented, so you
Yeah.
just didn't see it in this movie because the studio meddling. That was a whole thing that they cut.
After hearing that, I think they might do a reboot. Unfortunately, Kraven the singer. That's got to be coming out soon, right? Yeah,
It's coming next year to cinemas. You're gonna all forced to watch the slop. So
with jalapeno popcorn.
Yes. There were some movies in there I kind of forgot about. The Mummy Cinematic Universe from Tom Cruise that failed. The Fan Four Stick, Argyle from this year. Like, just rest in peace to those who never made a sequel. So, all right, Lord of the Rings. Let's get into it. I think for this we should also just do no spoilers. I mean spoilers. We'll do full spoilers for Lord of the Rings. War for Rohirrim. Man. Really do we get access to that. All right, let's start it off. Lord of the Rings War for Rohirrim. Based on Letterboxd, we all disagree on this movie. Well, more so myself than you two, but let's talk about it. So, should I do the little synopsis again like we always do?
Yeah.
A sudden attack by Wolf, a ruthless Dunletting lord, forces Helm Hammerhand and his people to make a daring last stand in the ancient stronghold of Hornburg. Finding herself in an increasingly desperate situation, Helm's daughter Hera must lead the resistance against a deadly enemy who is intent on total destruction. It takes place before the events of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, before the Ring and all that. I did not like this movie. I'm sorry. I didn't. I really found it quite boring, all things considered. And I feel like you're all going to disagree with me on that, but that's okay.
Can you give us some reasons why?
Yeah, you want to go into it a little bit?
Sorry. I thought you were going to say anything. Okay, so
no, you're good.
For me, Lord of the Rings, this story just doesn't connect to me at all. I think it is very basic. I think it is about as simple of a medieval tale as you can get. I think that it takes everything that's really interesting about Lord of the Rings and makes it different from like generic medieval world and goes away with it. This is, to me, is like if you watched a Star Wars movie about like two warring families on Tatooine, and like the coolest thing was that they all went and visited like the cantina. Like that is how I felt watching this. Like there was no true connection for me here to Lord of the Rings. And that's fine if you want to do something in the universe that's different, but give me the commonalities that I like. Like there could have been a wizard here. There could have been, some there were orcs, but they were there for like 40 seconds. I get like, oh, this is how Helm's Deep got its name. I just don't particularly care about that story. I think the animation is decent. I don't super love the combo of 3D, 2D. I think it worked a little bit. And I think the one thing they could have done really interesting here, which was the action, because you're not tied to reality or physics, was very weak. And so for me, I just think it's kind of overall a pretty weak story that I just never connected with on a deeper level. And I think that it was kind of a waste of what could have been something very interesting. So, yeah.
I think your approach is it's a very common approach. Like, I think this movie is either you liked it or you didn't. I really don't think you see a lot of people that are like, it was fine. I think I wouldn't say it's like a polarizing movie, but like, I think there's people that liked it and there's people that really didn't like it. What do you think, Chuck?
I enjoyed it. I thought that, so like halfway through the movie, I kind of thought to myself, this is what Star Wars should be doing. I mean, it's a smaller scale story. It's a spin-off. I don't think it's canon because some of the names in this movie, it wouldn't have made much sense if it was.
But it seemed like it was, because Sauron shows up right at the end, right?
Saruman?
Yeah, and she's going to see Gandalf, apparently.
Yeah. So Hama and Haleth, they're like the two sons.
Mm-hmm.
And they say at the beginning that this takes place 200 years before Bilbo even finds the ring. And Hama and Haleth, they're in the original trilogy, which is why I was confused for like a good chunk of the movie. And then I just thought to myself, like, okay, there are probably just multiple Hamas and Haleths. So I didn't really care about it after that. But I appreciated this because like it's very clearly a one-off. It's like a separate story. It's smaller scale. And I think everything that you pointed out, Hunter, about what you didn't like, I did enjoy. Like I didn't really I enjoyed the story. I didn't go in expecting like something really crazy. There were a lot of references to the original trilogy. There were actually like a ton of references to the original trilogy that you guys might not have known since you haven't seen the trilogy like a ton. But because I've seen the trilogy a lot of times, I appreciated a lot of the kind of small, kind of, I guess, quotes, signals, actions. Like at one point, Helm says, "The line of Helm is not so easily broken." That's a direct quote out of The Hobbit. The line of, I think, Oakenshield is not so easily broken is said in The Hobbit. And I thought that was really cool. Crab Eye from Dunwich, those birds. It was like a brief moment that was mentioned, but that's also in Fellowship. Saruman going to Isengard. I thought that was cool. I thought that like monster that ate the elephant, that's also in the Fellowship, very briefly. And so like I enjoyed a lot of the smaller quotes. I went into it thinking this was a one and done, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good story. There were things that I had problems with. Didn't love the fact that Helm was just an absolute juggernaut. Like he was like superhuman, and I was like, okay, this is a little much.
Yeah, that dude kicked some serious butt.
I kind of like that.
Punching dudes like acres away.
See, I didn't mind the punching. The part that got me was that he just like opened the doors. I was like, okay. Don't think that's...
They both opened the doors. Hodor.
Yeah, I just thought like they made him way too powerful, and it didn't really make a ton of sense for a man to have that much power. Like he's not a wizard. He's not a sorcerer. He's not a troll. Like he shouldn't be that strong. But oh well. Didn't love that. There were some things that I thought were rushed. Like that guy that, this is also kind of a spoiler, but the guy that betrayed the king. I didn't really get what his kind of
motive.
I didn't get his motive. They never.
Yeah, we didn't really know anything about that guy.
Never knew anything about him. They just said, "Oh, he betrayed you." But like, I never understood why. Even when Hera met him and killed him, we never got why he betrayed the king. and I had an issue with that. I thought the whole wolf like getting an army thing was a little bit rushed as well. Because like Wolf was kind of just like he was orphaned, and then like 10 minutes later he has this full army and kidnapped Hera. And I thought that was a little rushed as well. So like overall, were there issues? Yeah. Did I enjoy it? Yeah. Animation I thought was phenomenal. Music was great. Jack, I saw your Letterboxd, and I honestly have also never seen a Lord of the Rings movie in theaters, and I also got chills or got really hyped when I saw the title come up. So yeah, I had a good time. I would see it again, and I would recommend it to someone. I think it's my number 7 on the year.
Fair enough.
Dang. I think it's funny because obviously what Charlie was saying with like, I think I liked it for the opposite reasons of you, Hunter. Like what you dislike, I liked. I think I really liked, as someone who's not a massive Lord of the Rings head, like I'm more of a Gollum stan than anything. Like I just love that little dude. Like I think he's like the coolest thing ever. But in terms of like the Lord of the Rings movies as a whole, like I will not go to battle for them. I do really like them, and I think they're great works of art. I just like, they're not like, for me it's like The Dark Knight is like, that's just my thing, like that's something that I love and I will defend with my heart, whatever. I like that this felt separate, and I was honestly really frustrated at the end where they're like, oh, we're looking for a wizard, and it's like his name is Gandalf, and then it's like the name drops, and then like Saruman being there, I was just kind of like, I kind of would have liked it if they didn't include that at the end. I just feel like that kind of like frustrated me. Even though it is a Lord of the Rings movie, I know that 100%. I just feel like they did all this to kind of make it feel like it's its own separate movie, and then at the end they just kind of like name drop and throw a bunch of like characters at you. Is that just me?
No, I didn't love that. I when they asked like, oh, does the wizard have a name? I kind of thought to myself like, oh boy, here we go. And when Hera said he goes by many names, I thought that was brilliant. Like I would have loved that.
I would have loved that. And then they say Gandalf, and I was just like,
yeah. And then they say Gandalf, and it's like, okay, oh,
yeah. They could have said that tree guy, that tree wizard guy from The Hobbit.
Yeah, I mean, they could have said anyone. Like
maybe, I don't know.
Or they could have just like not said it.
Gandalf.
Yeah,
Gandalf
I got it. Like they didn't have to like tell me
names. And I think when Hera was like, oh, he goes by many names, and if they just wrote off like that, I think that would have been brilliant.
Yeah, also because there's 2 wizards everyone knows, and we saw the one, so if they're talking about the other, it's clearly the other guy.
Yeah.
I will say there's one fight scene or like this action sequence that I love. The sequence where they're like fighting on the steps up to the gate and it's snowing.
Oh, and then they freeze.
Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Good. And like I wanted to make that my poster on Letterboxd, but like you guys hadn't seen it yet, so I didn't want to like, because it's it's a spoiler, like I feel like that is kind of a spoiler.
Hammerhand.
Like it's sweet. And I loved Hammerhand. I thought he was awesome. And I get it. Like him being like the Juggernaut, I assume, or I guess for someone that might be more dedicated to the Lord of the Rings lore and like the whole, like all of the stories, might not like that as much, but I loved his character. I thought he was awesome. Brian Cox was awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. They quoted a lot of like Rohan war cries, like when he was yelling death. That's what Theoden yelled in Return of the King. Like there were just so many small little references that were like really enjoyable.
See, I think that's awesome, and I think for the Lord of the Rings faithful, they're gonna see that, they're gonna understand it, they're gonna like it. But I think it's like the small stuff, like I said, with like the name drops at the end. But even like the orcs with the rings, I was just like, what are we doing here? Like they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, we found a bunch of rings, and they're just like, I didn't love that.
It felt like, hey audience, remember this? Like that's
those 2 orcs, you know who voiced them?
I thought it was gonna be
it's
the Hobbit guys.
Merry and Pippin.
Yeah, I did. I thought I heard that.
And the narrator, the narrator was Eowyn.
Yeah,
like because she's alive still in this. right?
Eowyn marries Faramir, and she's the one that kills the Witch King.
Yes.
But Eowyn's not alive for another couple hundred years.
When
at
was the
time of
battle
this.
where they fought? Like when was the battle of like men and elves where they fought the first time and they got the rings?
Oh,
Like how long before The Hobbit was that? Like is it way before this?
I want to say like 500 to 1,000 years.
Okay. Okay.
So it was after it was before this with Helm Hammerhand. Let me check.
I don't know. I think for maybe people like Charles, where it's you're more of a fan of it, you get those moments. For me, I never connected with this movie. I felt, and I think the issue with it is, and I think it's very similar to the Star Wars sequels, where you hear the music, you hear the name drops, and you're like, this is awesome. I'd rather be watching that than this. Like it never like jumped enough to be different, but it never was like the same old, stuff that it's like, if you're going to do the same, do the same. If you're going to do different, be very different. It never was either of those two camps. And I think that it got caught in the middle and which I just never connected with it. But hey, that's okay.
I mean, I just think it's like it being its own thing was fine. And I was totally cool with that. But then they kind of like threw in like the small little like the rings being there and then like name drop at the end. It just kind of like those parts I just really didn't like. And I, like you were saying, Charlie, like when they had the monster, the creature that took out the elephant in the wall, like I was like, that's awesome. Like I've never seen this in a Lord of the Rings movie or anything Lord of the Rings. And I think that's awesome. I think that's so cool. And it felt so different and unique. And then they like have these small things where it's just kind of like, oh, like Hunter was saying, remember this? It's just like, I don't know, that kind of threw me off, but I enjoyed it. I agree with you, Charlie. I think it was fun.
The reason,
at least.
And I think in my letterbox I wrote, like, in my opinion, this is what Star Wars is trying to do, but they're like somehow struggling. And I guess Lord of the Rings, a lot of people didn't enjoy this movie, but I don't know, I just appreciated that this was something different in a spinoff, and I enjoyed it.
So what did you give this out of 100? I guess I give it a 40. I didn't like it, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It was not for me.
Give it a.
I was the only person in my theater, by the way.
I'll give it a 73.
There was one other guy in the theater who started with me, and he got to when Hammerhand kills the other guy in like the first fight, but just the one hit and done. He got up and left. So it wasn't for him.
Maybe he was just there for another movie.
Yeah, and he was like, "Why is this ad so long? This isn't Kraven the Hunter. What am I doing?" Jack, what'd you give out 100?
I give it like a 74.
Okay, more than Charles. Wow. And then what'd you end up giving Kraven? I gave that a 45.
I give it a 49.
All right. That's it.
Are we looking at Creature Commandos?
Oh yeah, we could just touch on that real quick. Really good episode. Very excited for kind of where it's setting up going forward. And rip to our boy GI Robot. Sorry, spoilers, but rip.
No.
Yeah.
Chucky should be watching the show.
So Hunter, you're going to the Lions Bills game. Jack, you know where I'm going to?
I am.
Are you? Oh my gosh, you're going to the Colts.
Denver. It's at Denver.
Awesome.
Yeah, that rocks.
Wearing our colors. Yeah.
I love it. And then I will be rooting you guys on from the television.
Jack's going to a better game maybe than both of us, because where's Jack going?
I got student tickets to the Notre Dame IU playoff game.
Yep.
What?
The boys are everywhere.
Damn. That rocks.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm just pumped. I'm a little interested how I always wear my overalls. That's like my game day staple. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be very cold. So I'm gonna have to find a way to stuff as much in my overalls as I possibly can.
Yeah.
It's respect.
The gentlemen are everywhere. Who knows? You maybe could run into one of us. You know, I mean, we're just out and about. You know, I mean, if we want to sign give some signatures and take some photos.
Yeah. Send in more mail. Send to our PO.
You can call
exactly.
Maybe you can call us Goodfellas.
Brother.
Yeah, you thought my skit was bad? Oh my god. Hey, anyone else wants to make a skit? They're more than welcome to. I thought that was a pretty good one.
I liked it. I
could have said that.
Dare I say I might have liked it a little bit more than the popcorn.
Wow. All right, I'm getting better.
Yeah, you are.
I expect some over our little work breaks we get here. I expect one from each. All right, looking ahead, next week, Superman trailer. We're ready. We're pumped. Next week, we'll also be talking Sonic 3, maybe Mufasa, maybe. We might just have Charles go by himself to see Mufasa and then give us a report on Mufasa.
New breaking news. New Star Wars Lego set was just announced.
Oh, was it good?
It's the UCS Death Star.
They just want all of our money.
Undergraduate Career Services Death Star?
For the low price of $999.99.
$1,000? That's ridiculous.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Good thing you got a good job, Charlie.
Yeah, seriously.
Top comment for $9.99. I guess it actually has a working laser beam.
You might have to go on a payment plan to pay for that. Can you imagine the loan officer comes and picks it up? Like you missed a payment.
36 months for 80%.
Yeah, they just start taking pieces if you don't pay. They start with the minifigs. All right, next week Sonic, Creature Commandos, Superman, possibly Mufasa. We'll see. I think we have to just send Charles to go see that by himself. Also, Jack will give us a full report of the Indiana game. And yeah, that's all. Sweet. Well, peace out. Thank you for joining us once again. And we'll talk soon. Next week. Also, next week will be the 23rd, so Christmas week. Ooh, we'll do a draft. All right.